G'day, this is Shane, and this is version 1.18.2 of Blackhole Run. So in this version, I have implemented a laser system, so the lasers can now shoot down asteroids. I also have done some user interface advancements. So in this video, I'm just going to give a brief demonstration of the game, and then I'm going to open up a Paint application so I can just give a demonstration of what I'm going to be implementing in the future of the game. So just a reminder, this is a beta version. This game is not yet complete. There's still extra features I'm going to be added into this game. So let's begin. Alright, so the aim of the game is to collect fuel by getting close to the black hole and then returning that fuel back to the blue planets. How to play: use the left and the right thrust buttons in order to control the direction of the ship, which is going to be on x-axis. And you can use the redeploy button to redeploy next to the black hole, or if there's a bug. Alright, let's play the game. Alright, see, it bugs out, so I'm just going to redeploy. So now I can shoot down the asteroids. As you can see, the asteroids now can be shot down. There's the black hole. So what I'm doing now is I'm collecting fuel from the black hole. If you look at the lower UI, you can see there's a fuel counter. Currently I have 260 odd fuel, with that number increasing. Now there's a lot of asteroids currently being sucked into the black hole. They're being sucked in very fast because we are close to the black hole. The player can choose to shoot the asteroids if they wish, but let's see what happens. If they shoot the asteroids, they're going to get sucked into the black hole, so that's impractical. So what I'm going to be introducing will be a shield system into the spacecraft. So the spacecraft is going to have a shield system. This is going to be in future game implementations. So every time an asteroid hits the ship, it's going to reduce the ship's shield from 100% down to 0%, where the ship will then be destroyed. So for strategy reasons, what the player is going to do, because they do need to collect fuel from the black hole, is they're going to accept some damage to the shield while they're collecting fuel from the black hole. But when the shield is getting pretty low, around 30%, the player then will probably decide, well, I fell into the black hole again. The player will then probably decide to move away from the black hole. For example, he's moving away from the black hole. Now he wants to move a little bit of a distance away from the black hole because the black hole does still have a gravitational pull around the game. It's still going to try to suck the player back in. So the reason why the player is moving away from the black hole, though, is because the player wants to shoot these asteroids. The player wants to shoot the asteroids because the player wants to increase their shield, or restore their shield. So I'm going to basically put into the game, like, every time you shoot an asteroid, it gives increases the energy of your shield. So say if you only got 30% of your shield left, and you shoot down, like, a whole bunch of asteroids, that will restore your shield back up to 100%. So it gives a reason to shoot down the asteroids, apart just from getting points. Now, as you can see, the player's just ran out of fuel, so he needs to collect fuel from the black hole, which I'm going to do now. Now, if you notice next to the black hole, there are circling light patterns. That is the black hole's accretion disk. It's basically entrapping light particles. Well, as a black hole would do. This accretion disk is a prime indicator that you are close to the black hole and you are collecting fuel. In future versions of the game where the black hole's mass increases, I probably want to have the accretion disk move out a little bit from the black hole, or make a larger accretion disk based on the mass of the black hole. So if you look at the top right of the user interface, you see the black hole has a mass, and that number is completely that figure is completely rising. That's because the asteroids are being sucked into the black hole, and every time the black hole sucks in the asteroids, it increases the black hole's mass. So now I'm going to move the player away from the black hole, and I'm going to test the laser shooting system again. So with shooting the asteroids, this works on the principles of steady aim. You've got to slow down and aim steady. If you're traveling too fast, it's going to be very difficult to shoot the asteroids. You can still hit the asteroids at fast speeds, but it is going to be quite difficult. Now, the best way to when I do introduce the shield-based feature of the game, I would probably recommend be around about 3,000 pixels away from the black hole. As you can see here, distance is measured in pixels. You've got the black hole is about 5,000 pixels away, and the blue planet is about 2,800 pixels away. So now I'm far away from the black hole that I won't be sucked into the black hole. So now I can just travel in space and shoot asteroids to score points and increase my ship's shield. It's going to be important in the third stage of the game to make sure that you have a strong shield. Your ship has a strong shield. The reason being is when you leave the asteroid belt, you are going to be encountering pirates, space pirates. I have not introduced the space pirates into the game yet, but when you do, you're going to want to have your ship have a full shield capacity. So as you can see, I'm struggling to shoot some of these asteroids because I am going a little bit fast. So I'm going to hit the white thrust button to slow down a little bit. Now as you can see, I can easily shoot these asteroids. So this game tests the player's patience and skill. So the player might be impatient and they might want to get to the blue planet as quickly as possible, but in doing so, in travelling too fast, they're going to collide in with the asteroids. They also can collide in with the blue planet, which we'll get onto later in the game. So as you can see, I am shooting down the asteroids, and I'm currently almost about 1,000 pixels away from the blue planets. Currently travelling at 136 pixels per hour, pixels per second. Now I'm currently outside of the asteroid belt. This is going to be stage 3 of the game, which I have not implemented yet. Stage 3 of the game, I'm going to have some pirate strips which are going to travel up here above the player ship, traveling in an X direction. So you got the game works on an XY axis, so they'll be traveling in an X direction. And the player and the pirate ships are going to shoot at the player. The player can dodge by changing their speed and changing their direction, so they can dodge enemy fire by changing speed and changing direction. This is where you need to have plenty of fuel in order to dodge their attacks. The player can also shoot the space pirates when I introduce them into the game. Now as you can see here, currently it says it's ready to land. This is because you need to have a speed of under 149 pixels per second to land safely on the planet. Let's give a demonstration. So I'm currently traveling at 153 pixels per second, and I need to slow down to 149 pixels per second to land safely on the blue planet. So I'm traveling too fast. But the blue planet is only about 3,000 pixels away, so I still have time to slow down. I can even speed up a little bit. Eventually I'm going to include a fire effect, which comes out of both thrusters. At the moment though, I just have not included it. Now I'm getting very close to the blue planet, so I'm going to need to get ready to hit the white thrust button. So let's activate this white thruster right here. Again, I'm going to include a fire effect to make it a bit more obvious to the player. So I'm currently heading into the blue planet at a speed of 41 pixels per second. Now this blue planet has a gravitational pull, not as strong as the black hole. However, it is quite strong, and it will affect the player's speed when the player gets closer to the planet. I was able to land on the planet safely, as I entered in a speed under 149 pixels per second, and I have collected 892 fuel. So now I'm back at the black hole. So the game now will deploy you back at the blue hole as you have successfully returned fuel to the planet. And you can see here the score now has updated. You now got 1,482 points as a score. Now you can continue the game and collect more fuel and shoot more asteroids in order to increase your high score. Now draw your attention to this. The black hole's mass continues to grow even after redeployments. So every time the game redeploys, or every time you return fuel back to the blue planet, the game's going to spawn another 3,000 asteroids into the game. These asteroids are going to be sucked into the black hole. And every asteroid gets sucked into a black hole increases the black hole's mass, which in turn increases its gravitational pull. If the black hole has a higher gravitational pull because it's got a higher mass, it's going to make it more difficult for the player to collect fuel from the black hole. This is going to make the game more challenging as the game progresses through its stages. So I'll show you now what happens if you collapse into a black hole. So now I'm getting really close to the black hole. The game, see, as you can see, there's a spedification effect. So the player has been all warped and sucked into the black hole. They have been spedified, and the game is over. Now there's this little bug in the game when the player falls into the black hole for some reason. They are put into a random spot in an X and Y coordinate on the map, and their speed is going extremely fast. The player is in some random spot of the universe. So it's a bug. I don't know why that bug happens. I'm just going to redeploy. And as you can see, the score now has been reduced back down to 0. And I, got that up to 20 because I just shot 2 asteroids. So every time you get a game over, it does reset your score. However, the black hole's mass is not reset. I'm still deciding if I want to reset the black hole's mass during the game over. I probably will include that. Okay, so that's a brief demonstration of the game. So now I'm going to bring up my PowerPoint. My paint application here. And I'm just going to give you an example of what I'm going to be planning to do in the future of this game. So this game basically works, imagine this is the canvas of the game. That little circle there is the black hole. That is your asteroid belt. That should be black. Anyway, yeah, that's the black hole and that's the asteroid belt. And here's your blue planet. This game is divided into 3 various stages. Stage 1 is here. Stage 2 is basically about here. Stage 3 is about here. Then you got stage 4, which will be about here. Then the final stage, stage 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The player starts about here. So this is where the player starts. They start around in area number 2. Now their goal is to collect fuel from the black hole. Here's the black hole's accretion disk. So this is pretty much the area where the player can collect fuel from the black hole. So the player travels from this location here to this location here to collect fuel. While they're in that location collecting fuel, they're going to be bombarded with asteroids. And it's going to be very difficult for the player to shoot down those asteroids when they're collecting fuel from the black hole. This is when my future update for the shield comes into play. The player's ship's going to have a shield. And the player's ship's going to be able to take a number of hits from a bunch of asteroids until the player needs to move away from the chaotic asteroid zone into a more safer zone where they're not getting hit by asteroids anymore. So that's when they'll probably move around up to, say, probably still in about area number 2, but borderline close to area number 3 and area number 2. This is the strategy of the game. Now when the player's in this location, they're planning to shoot the asteroids with the lasers, because every asteroid they shoot, they're going to be able to recharge their shields. So every asteroid will probably recharge their shield by extra 10%, for example. That way the player's going to have a refill their shield. Now the player's got 100% shield again, they can now return to the black hole, well, close to the black hole, and start collecting more fuel. And they can repeat this process over and over again. They just have to keep in mind that the black hole's mass does steadily increase, which is going to make it a bit trickier for return trips. Now, when the player has collected enough fuel from that black hole, what the player's now got to plan to do is they've got to now want to travel to region number 3. Region number 3 is on the outer region of the asteroid belt. Here the player's got to be, again, bombarded with asteroids, but it's not going to be as bad as it was next to the black hole. Now the player basically wants to make sure that any asteroid that's in their path, they shoot down, because they want to maintain a high shield for the next stage of the game. So after the players shot down and cleared a path via the asteroid belt, they are now going to be entering stage number 4. In stage number 4, there are going to be some enemy ships, which I'm going to be including in the game. The enemy ships will travel across on an x-axis above the player, and they will follow the player around. The player is going to be able to travel on an x-axis as well. And they're both that's where the space battle begins. They're all going to start shooting at each other. And the player can avoid the enemy fire, so they can take evasive action, and they can also shoot the ships down. Now the player's got to keep in mind as well that they want to keep their speed below 149 pixels per second. Because after they have destroyed these ships, after these ships have been destroyed, the player's now going to enter the stage 5, which is the final stage, is when they are depositing the fuel back onto the blue planets. Here the player wants to make sure they're travelling under 149 pixels per second. Because if they go over 149 pixels per second, they're going to crash into the planet, and yeah, they lose all the fuel, and it's a game over. If they do travel under 149 pixels per second, though, they would successfully deliver their fuel back to the blue planet. And after they have delivered their fuel back to the blue planet, the game starts again and redeploys the player next to the black hole, and it updates the player's score. So the player might have got a score of 900, for example. Now the player can increase their score by doing the whole stages again. So going from stage 2 to stage 3 to stage 4 and stage 5, and they can continue to increase their score, but they got to keep an eye on the mass of the black hole. So the mass of the black hole, when that gets too high, that's going to mean the black hole is now going to increase its gravitational force, or gravitational pull. And the higher the gravitational pull, the harder it is going to be for the player to collect fuel without getting sucked into the black hole. The blue planet does have a gravitational pull as well, but it's not as high as the black hole. The black hole has a major gravitational pull. I'm going to probably make an easy, hard, and difficult version for this game as well. In harder versions, this will increase the asteroid count, for example, and probably start the game off with a higher mass in the black hole and the blue planets, to make landing on a blue planet more difficult. So this game was developed using ChatGPT-4 in order to help me with building the frameworks. In order for me to have ChatGPT-4 to build this game, which is built in various stages, I have sectioned my code. I'll show you how I've sectioned the code here. So as you can see here, section 7J7, I've got a section J7 code reference point start and a section J7 code reference point finish. This section here of the code here basically puts the black hole in the center of the universe on the x and y coordinate axis by setting it as 0x and 0y. It also sets the mass of the black hole to 1000. Now this also uses a formula which is using some mathematical principle the AI system was telling me about this Schwarzschild's child radius. Schwarzschild's child radius. I can't pronounce it for the life of me. But anyway, what this does is basically it takes G scaled, which is a calculation of the gravitational effect from Newton's law, I believe it's using, and it times that by C scaled, which is the radius of the black hole. Yeah, I'm no mathematician, so if you want to know more about that, speak to a mathematician. So what I've done here is in the comments section, I have included a comment of what each section of the code does. So say section J2 sets up the background star field, section J6 defines constant like gravity, speed of light, example. J7, where we were before, that sets up the black hole within radius. So if we go to section J6, for example, as you can see here, I've got the G scaled, which is the gravitational force, and I also got the C scaled, which is the radius of the black hole. And here in section J6.1, you can change the pull and reverse strength, so the strength of the thrusters, for example, how much fuel the player starts with, and other values you can play around with as well. So yeah, as you can see, it's also using some calculation here. Imperental, I can't pronounce that word for the life of me. I know it's some mathematical calculation which determines the actual radius of planets. Again, I'm no space physicist. I'm just learning all this stuff while I make the game. But But what I have found is if you do decide to develop a game with artificial intelligence, the AI system, it's not going to develop it for you straight off the bat. You're going to actually have to put some work in. It's not going to do all the work for you. The best way to do this is to make the AI system develop your game within sections. Because, for example, if I give an AI system a script of the entire game and I ask the AI system to fix one thing or include a new feature into the script, it will do that, but then it will probably make a mistake or an error in another section, and it's just gonna mess up your programming scripting. So the journalists, they tend to say that AI is going to steal the code of developers. AI is going to do all the work. Well, that's just not true. That's not the case at all. And it's most likely those journalists who write those articles have never tried to develop a game themselves via programming. Now, AI does do a lot of the work. However, it doesn't do all the work. The developer still has to put work in, and he still needs to understand the basic fundamentals of developing a game. It's not as simple as just write a few words and it does the whole job for you. So yeah, if you think that's how it's going to be developing a game via even JavaScript with AI, using AI to assist, then you best get that idea out of your head, because that's just not how it is. So now this game I'm also going to be developing it so it works on mobile telephone screens, but I'm going to have to develop it that it will have to work on landscape mode, like this mode here on a mobile telephone screen. I'm still making it mobile telephone friendly at the moment. As you can see here, double tapping on the screen zooms in on the game, and that's going to cause a problem with the lasers, because the player is going to be double tapping a lot. See, just bugs I have to fix that, work on. Again, this game is still not yet complete. So if you're demoing my game thinking it's a complete game, well, it's not. But eventually we'll have it working on mobile telephone devices. That's just the future feature I'm gonna bring in. Anyway, thanks for watching this video regarding my my Blackhole game. In the future updates, I'm going to bring in a shield system, so the ship's going to have a shield. I'm going to bring in enemy pirate ships, and I'm going to make the game work better on mobile telephone devices. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. You have a good one.